Welcome to this Jeremy Bamber and White House Farm podcast, Season 3, Legal and Campaign Update. My name's Emma Morris and, unfortunately, things are still moving very slowly regarding the CCRC in reaching a decision. However, we are aware that they are very focused on one particular issue at the moment and will update us on their findings within the next few weeks. We had hoped to be able to share with you a new legal angle this month. However, Jeremy and the legal team have decided that they will give the CCRC a little while longer before this is actioned. Regarding the campaign news, documents we recently came into possession of have now been sorted and catalogued, with important forensic material sent to Jeremy's legal team. Jeremy will receive this important documentation from them before next month. Jeremy can then ascertain what is pertinent to the submissions with the CCRC. Some of our social media accounts are being conflated to concentrate our efforts, and in this month's podcast now, I discuss this with Nikki Rowley, who helps us with the podcast and is part of our podcast team.
We're here today to talk about the importance of social media and the role it plays in helping raise awareness of Jeremy's wrongful conviction. So, Emma, why does the campaign use social media?
Hi, Nikki. Thanks for joining me. So, well, quite simply, social media is a necessity in getting news out there of Jeremy's situation and fight for justice. Why is that? Well, according to an Ofcom research report in 2021, it showed that 49% of adults use social media for news and or other websites and apps, whilst the TV is most prevalent amongst the 65 plus age group, representing 93%, the internet is the most used platform for news consumption amongst the 16 to 24-year-olds, 89%, and those from minority ethnic groups, 85%. So the mainstream TV news, they'll report on Jeremy's case when something specific happens, like a new piece of evidence, and I'm sure they'll report as and when the CCRC refer his case to the Court of Appeal. But it's vitally important that we keep what to most people is simply a 38-year-old story alive and in the minds of the public as best we can. You know, this isn't a historic case to Jeremy. He's still living the nightmare of being wrongfully convicted after all this time. So we need to keep people's interest in it and also get new people interested in it.
So that's really interesting about the social media side of it. I had no idea that sort of split. That's a high percentage of the older population, watching TV, isn't it? And
yeah.
that and the and again the younger ones on social media. So it shows
they do. I think you see people on TikTok and that type of thing, that they go there for their news source. That's where they go specifically.
So
their phones.
Okay. So what media platforms do we have as the campaign team? What platforms do you use to get the word across?
Well, first of all, it's important, I think, to just mention our website. We have a website, Jeremy Bamber Innocence Campaign website. It's got a wealth of information on there. We also have a Pinterest account as well. I know it's not exactly social media, but there's lots of documents and stuff scanned on there for people to have a look at, some images of stuff from the original police files and that type of thing that we've found in support of Jeremy's innocence. We also have a YouTube channel with lots of videos on different aspects of the case. We obviously do these podcasts as well, which go into detail about the case and the evidence we found and that type of thing. We're on season 3 now, as you know, and there's lots of information contained in them for people to listen to. But to specifically social media, we've got a Facebook account, Facebook group, which is for supporters of Jeremy's innocence. It's not a group to debate guilt or innocence. It's only for those who support Jeremy's innocence.
Right. That's quite good then, because there are various other groups, I think, online that may be slightly biased.
Yeah, and there's discussion groups and that type of thing that people can join if they want to debate guilt or innocence. That's really not what our Facebook group is about. You've got people come to us when they've already researched and concluded that Jeremy's innocent after going into and digging into the detail. and it's kind of a safe place for them to show their support and not have to argue with people on evidence and that type of thing. We'll answer questions, of course, but it is specifically for supporters Facebook group.
Yeah, and it's all evidence based, so it's not hearsay, is it? That's
No,
it's facts, isn't it? Yeah,
that's right. We'll give facts on there from the case files. That, yeah, as I say, people can ask questions, but we don't debate guilt or innocence on there. And the other thing around the Facebook group, as you know, Nikki, is we hold campaign and supporter Zoom meetings in the evenings once a month. If people wish to attend, they have to be a member of the Facebook group, and we'll give legal updates. We'll give presentations on different elements of the case, different aspects of the case that people might not be aware of. And in addition to that, we have guest speakers. And we've had people like Mike O'Brien, who's an author who suffered his own miscarriage of justice as one of the Cardiff newsagent 3. Now works tirelessly, doesn't he, to help with the victims of miscarriages of justice. We've had human rights campaigner Peter Tatchell, Dr. Dennis Eady of the Cardiff Innocent Project, and lots more.
All really interesting. Yeah, really interesting topics and information on things that I suppose most of us haven't got a clue about, until we start looking and reading, listening. You just don't know how these things work, do you? So it's good
people realise how prevalent miscarriages of justice cases are, and so it's a really good place for them to learn about them and other cases and that type of thing. And I think we've also got a really good community, and we've built up some really good supporters and people have become real life friends through the Facebook group. So
yeah, it does feel like a big family, really. I think everyone's very supportive and it's nice. It's nice. Nice. Got a nice feel to it. Those
it
groups.
is, and people will share Jeremy's story as well on their own Facebook pages and that type of thing. So they're spreading the word through Facebook. So it's a really good tool. In addition to Facebook, we've also got a TikTok account where we put out kind of TikTok-sized facts of just snippets of facts of the case. We do that 5 days a week, every weekday. We've had around 1.1 million views since we started.
Wow.
I know, which is fantastic. We have one specific TikTok which amassed over 200,000 views, and it's still climbing.
That's incredible, isn't it?
I don't know what it was about that specific TikTok that really sort of pushed through onto people's For You pages, but it did, and we couldn't be more pleased about it. So that's fantastic. And we have Twitter, of course. We've got 3 Twitter accounts at the moment, but we've actually decided it's better to just have one. So we're closing down 2 and asking our followers to switch over and follow the one if they don't already.
So why are you closing down the 3 Twitter accounts?
Well, we're closing down 2 of them. We've got 3 in total, and we're closing 2 down. We think people get confused because we're not the only Twitter accounts, I think, that refer to Jeremy. So we want people to know which one's the official campaign Twitter account and not get confused with any others. And it just feels better that we can streamline our messages through that one Twitter account.
Yeah, I understand. That makes sense. Yeah, it makes perhaps easier for people just to, like, say, search for the one rather than search
different ones, and then exactly, and then maybe crossover messages and that type of thing. It's just far easier.
So how has social media helped Jeremy and the campaign?
Oh, I mean, it's been absolutely vital in getting more people to see Jeremy's wrongful imprisonment. It's through social media presence we've ended up being invited to be interviewed by people such as Sonia Poulton, Sean Atwood, and at one point we even had a regular slot on Swindon Radio. So, through these and tweets, we're regularly approached by journalists, documentary makers interested in Jeremy's story. Through TikTok, we've had countless people say things like, wow, I didn't realise he could be innocent. I want to learn more. We've even been asked to speak to a whole class of criminology students. So,
wow.
Yeah. So love it or
Yeah.
hate it, social media is a vital tool in helping in the fight for Jeremy.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it. And to get interviews with people like you say, such as Sean Atwood and Sonia Poulton, I mean that's great, isn't it? Get them on board, on side, and get the word out there even more.
Yeah, we wouldn't have had the opportunity to, get onto that type of platform or those types of platforms without social media.
No,
Like I say, love it or hate it, social media in 2023 it's necessary. You have to have
yeah,
it.
the way to go. Yeah. So what about the dark side of social media? I mean, do you get a lot of trolls? Is that difficult to control? How's that work?
No, not really. Yes, I mean, the thing is with social media, it doesn't matter whether you are talking about a miscarriage of justice case or you're doing a makeup tutorial on TikTok, you're going to get trolls, unfortunately. That's just the nature of social media. But I don't think we get more trolls than anybody else. And the way we handle them is you're going to know they're a troll, first of all.
Right.
If you're doing a TikTok and you're providing a piece of evidence and they don't comment on the evidence that you're providing or challenge it or anything like that, they just simply say guilty or something like that, just block.
Yeah.
The best way to deal with the troll is simply block them. It doesn't matter how nasty they are, how horrible what they say, how evil what they say is, how provocative what they say is. It really doesn't matter. The second you hit the block button, you don't give them a second thought.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the best way to deal with it. But it's understanding when you've got a troll and when you haven't. So some people may have watched a documentary or a TV drama and that's where they've got their information from in terms of believing that Jeremy's guilty, and they will
Yeah.
say he's guilty and I don't believe he's innocent. And we'll ask, well, why not? Tell us why not. Give us the information that you believe means he's guilty. And we can actually end up having some really good exchanges with those people that say, well, actually, wow, I didn't realise all of this. I'm going to go away. I'm going to listen to the podcast. I'm going to research some more. Thank you very much. So
Great.
not everybody who immediately nasty is a troll. But when they are, then, I think the universal advice is to block, and it is absolutely the best advice as well.
Yeah.
But no, social media is fairly good in my experience in terms of you being able to filter out, nasty comments and that type of thing so that you're not trolled. And we're not, things like TikTok, we're not, a massive creator in terms of we don't have 1 million followers and that type of thing. So for us, it's quite kind of easy to handle. So it's fine.
Brilliant. So win-win then. So that's good if you can get people to change their minds because of seeing the facts sort of thing. And as you say, I mean, unfortunately, there are these programs out there that are just created to sell, and
It doesn't matter, does it always? And I think that's the difficulty because people think I read it in a book or I saw it on a documentary. They'll simply believe that everything that, is put out there. Yeah. They should be able to in reality. But unfortunately, documentary makers, authors, they will have their own agenda and their own viewpoint and they'll write it based on that. So it's good that people are coming to us, seeing us on TikTok, coming up on their For You pages and going, oh, I had one the other day, someone just say, literally, I had no idea he was even claiming to be innocent.
Yeah.
So, it's really in that respect. And other people that we have changed their minds on it because they're looking into
Brilliant.
It does work. It does work.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So does Jeremy ever tweet or do any of the TikToks?
Some people do occasionally comment and message us believing they are speaking directly to Jeremy, even though in our bio we make it very clear we're his campaign team, we're not Jeremy. Jeremy does not and has never had access to the internet. He has never tweeted. He has never done a TikTok. He simply doesn't have the access to do any of that. So for anybody out there that thinks that he does, he doesn't. He never has. And for as long as he's in prison, he won't. So hopefully
Right.
that clears that up for people that think that Jeremy does tweet. But what I do sometimes though, because he can't tweet and he can't comment and he can't TikTok, he can't do any of this, I do let him know occasionally of some really supportive comments that we do get through social media. So if, people
Oh,
comment,
that's nice. Yeah.
justice for Jeremy, let's hope he gets justice this year, and all of those nice comments, then I will send them to him as a collective occasionally, just so he's aware of some really, that he is getting that support out there, which is really nice. So I would
Yeah. Yeah.
encourage people to comment regularly on any of our social medias. Be really, really helpful, and it's really nice to hear and get all that support.
Yeah, it must be a good boost for morale.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so one final question from me. How can people visit these various sites and things? How do they get hold of them?
So our Twitter account is Bamba Tweet, all one word. Our TikTok is Justice for the number 4, Jeremy Bamba, all one word. Our YouTube channel is Official Bamba Video, all one word. Our Facebook group is Jeremy Bamba Justice Group. Our website is www.jeremy-bamba.co.uk.
That's great. Thanks, Emma.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Nikki. Hopefully that's given a bit of insight into social media and the work we do on it. It's not quite a full-time job, but it's not far off. We dedicate a lot of time to social media, but it is really, really important in order to get Jeremy's message out there and really keep his case alive and in the minds of the public.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad, glad that there's people out there doing it.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining me, Nikki. See you again soon.
Thank you. Okay, bye, Emma.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this podcast. If you'd like to do something to help Jeremy Bamba, then sign our online petition to the Home Secretary for the disclosure of case documents still withheld by Essex Police. Visit www.change.org and search for Jeremy Bamba. And don't forget to share the link with your friends and family.